Hello, and welcome to the tutorial on COMM Organizers. A COMM Organizer, which is short for a Communications Organizer, is one of the most important people in a business. The COMM Organizer is in charge of every aspect of a business's communications. On a broad level, the COMM Organizer is responsible for ensuring consistency throughout an organization's communications, whether those be internal communications amongst employees or external communications with customers. As a COMM Organizer, you must be proactive. You have to establish consistent brands across multiple social media platforms and types of communications like emails, internal notices, and external press releases, so that your business has a unified presence whenever it communicates. This includes setting up instruction manuals for team members that describe how those team members should format their communications and what style they should write in. Plus, it requires that the COMM Organizer constantly curate new content that team members can use on multiple channels to promote the business. In addition to preparing the methods in which communication should be published, COMM Organizers must also listen to the company's clients to see what kinds of messages those clients crave. COMM Organizers must ensure that keywords and trends are being tracked so that they can optimize those topics in their communications. COMM Organizers must also ensure they're releasing information at the appropriate time. Scheduling emails, social media posts, and events in ways that customers don't feel overwhelmed is important. Having a good routine and timing between all the methods of communication is also important, so that each department knows when it's expected to communicate with clients. For example, you may only send one email a week to your clients, but you might post on Twitter twice a day, Instagram 3 times a day, and Facebook once a day. And you might host events once a month. Having a routine like that allows each department to know what they have to prepare for. It's the COMM Organizer's job to manage those departments and make sure they're working well together and following your instructions. In order to ensure the company is promoting a consistent message, the color schemes on each social media profile should be the same. The color schemes on all the emails and signage should be the same too. It's up to the COMM Organizer to give each department guidelines on what color schemes, imagery, formats, etc. they can use. Then, of course, the COMM Organizer has to double check that each department is following those guidelines. A successful COMM Organizer will make those guidelines extremely specific so that the departments can easily follow them without asking too many questions. Plus, the COMM Organizer will make sure that each of those guidelines supports the company's overall goals and branding objectives. Again, this will provide a consistent and helpful image for the company, both internally and externally. One way a COMM Organizer can create guidelines is by composing a social media playbook. The social media playbook includes information about the social media platforms the company will use, the images the company will use in its profile pictures, background pictures, the hashtags that can be used in posts, the tone each post should take, the types of images that should be posted, the types of followers you should connect to, etc., etc. As an example, I own 2 businesses. One is a law firm. On social media, that business focuses on legal issues, particularly intellectual property issues. Links to news stories about intellectual property lawsuits commonly appear on that business's social media profiles. My other business is a mediation firm. On social media, that business focuses on conflict resolution and psychology. Often I'll retweet something that a noted conflict resolution scholar has posted. Each business has a different focal point, so each one has a separate social media plan. The Boy Scouts actually have a detailed social media playbook. I'd highly recommend reviewing that to get a sense of the guidelines a COMM Organizer might put together for a business. Now, once you put together a social media playbook as a COMM organizer, you have to train your team members in how to use that playbook and make sure they don't have any questions about it. Then, as social media platforms change or the business changes, you have to update the social media playbook. COMM organizers are also responsible for tracking the business's social media profiles and passwords, and any other usernames or passwords a company may need in order to do any of its branding work. In order to help organize each department and get a good routine going for the business's communications, the COMM organizer must set up a content distribution calendar that outlines when each department will publish each kind of message or host each kind of event. This calendar must include both internal communications and external communications. The COMM organizer must also ensure that the departments follow that schedule. The role of a COMM organizer is quite complicated. It requires a broad perspective, attention to detail, and strong management skills. It's a lot of hard work, but a successful COMM organizer can easily lead a company to huge successes. Of course, if you have any questions about the role or responsibility of a COMM organizer, then please contact your instructor. Thank you so much for listening to this tutorial. I hope it helps you to start thinking like a COMM organizer.